In 2006, he was talking to students at Columbia University. He was talking to them about going through the Moody's manual in 51. I'll just read that, it was an absolute question of turning the pages. Then in 2005, someone sent him a Korean stock market guide. I actually seen it. It was put out by Citibank. And he spent about 5 or 6 hours on a Saturday going through this list of Korean companies with just some of the basic information. He picked out about 20 companies from that list, and he put about 100 million of his personal portfolio into those 20 companies. And so, for example, there was Daehan Flour, which sold about 1/4 of the flour in South Korea. It had earnings of 13,000 won 3 years ago, 18,000 won 2 years ago, 23,000 a year ago, and it had over 100,000 won in per share in equities, and the whole thing was going for 38,000 won, right? So he did very well with his Korean escapades without really knowing a whole lot about the businesses. He just kind of went through them just purely on a quantitative basis. And then in 2011, my friend Guy Spear and I found ourselves in Warren Buffett's office, and you can see on the right there's the Japan company handbook. And I was actually familiar with that handbook because I had a subscription to the exact same book. And so when I saw that on Warren's desk, it was quite a surprise. And so I asked him about it because in 2011, Berkshire Hathaway, they can't buy Mickey Mouse companies, and the reason I was going through the Japan company handbook was I was looking at Japanese net nets, companies trading well below their liquidation values and so on, and so I asked Warren, why he was fooling around with the Japan company handbook, and of course he puts on a poker face and doesn't say anything, and then I picked up the book, and Guy and I dog-eared some of the pages of companies that we had found that were interesting. So without asking him, we kind of mutilated his copy. And most of these companies were towards the back of the book. He says, it's always the case. It's really the back end is when all the good stuff shows up. And then, of course, he doesn't tell us anything more about what he did with that. But that was during daytime hours at Berkshire Hathaway is what he's doing. So actually the teenager at Aksarban and the young adult going through the Moody's manual, and then the much older adult going through the Korean stock book and then the Japan company handbook, all of these exercises are the same. They are all exercises where you're spending very little time on either a given ticket or a given company, and you're going very rapidly through. I mean, if you're cycling through 40,000 pages with, 50 or 80,000 companies in a year, you're clearly not spending much time on any single company. And so what he was looking for when he was going through this was very specific patterns. And when he saw those patterns, he acted. And so the pattern was it had to hit him over the head with a 2x4. And so either it had to be a winning ticket at Aksarban, or it had to be a stock where it would just stop you in your tracks. 100,000 in book values, trading for 40,000, making 25,000 a year, that sort of thing.